Welcome back. Talk about an inspiring story. Our next guest is an Ironman triathlete, a Paralympian, and past amazing race competitor. But most of all, she's an example of what it means to live life without limits. Welcome to the show, Sarah Reinertsen. Sarah, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Such a pleasure to be here with such a pro athlete. You know, I'm the opposite of that, so it's so great to meet you. What are you doing in Tucson, first of all?
So I'm here in Tucson for the Amputee Coalition. We're having our national conference. So there's 1,100, 1,000 amputees out in Star Pass at that resort. And it's a great time for amputees to come together, to share information, empower each other to live a life without limits.
Right. Limb difference is the term that you use, right? What does that mean?
Well, we're all different, and it can come in all different packages and sizes. So I'm an above-the-knee amputee, meaning that my amputation is above the knee. But a lot of times folks might be missing both legs or an arm and a leg, and there's just so many different levels. So it's a limb difference.
Of course. Yeah. And so when did you yourself become an amputee?
I became an amputee when I was 7 years old. I was born with a tissue disorder that stunted the growth of my left leg, so it stopped growing. And we elected to amputate so that I could take advantage of better prosthetics so that I could be active.
Right, and I'm sure they've come a long way since that time, right? And so when did you start actually running, and why'd you start?
I started running when I was 11 years old, but I didn't really get serious about it until I got into later in high school and in college. And I think I got so passionate about running because most of my childhood was spent living on the sidelines. I was a good hopper. I could hop in field day and beat every kid in the school, but when it came to running, I was often excluded. And that's why I do what I do, because I want to make sure that anybody who has a disability is welcomed at the start line.
Right, and earlier this year, you know, we've been talking about it throughout the show, the 777 race. Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, I ran on all 7 continents in 7 days, first amputee to ever do that, and that was an incredible challenge and so hard to go from different climates. Running in Antarctica on the ice, very tricky to hold your balance on that, and then to go from Antarctica right to Cape Town less than 8 hours later, it was like running in the freezer to running in the oven, much like running in Tucson sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane to think that you're able to do that, go from climate to climate. I know the toll it takes on your body to have to do that, and of course you have to have some good equipment to do this, to go from different types of, I guess, ground, you could say, right?
Yeah, and I have extra equipment. I was the only amputee of the 52 people that did the race, but I carry legs with me, and so this is my running leg, and I wear this Oser Flex Run and this Cheetah knee, and this is designed specifically for running. But we had to make some adaptations, so I run with this Nike sole, but for Antarctica, we had to modify one that had spikes that would grip the ice.
Oh my gosh. No
so I carried lots of different legs and parts with me so that no matter the terrain, no matter the weather, I had the right equipment to get me to the finish line.
And in everyday life too, you said seven different types of legs. What are some of the types?
So I have an everyday leg. I have a leg that I can use at the gym. I have an adjustable high heel foot so that I can wear everything from flats and flip-flops up to high heels. I also have a yoga leg, a beach leg, and a leg to ride my bike. Doing triathlon, even just within my sport, I need to have different legs to do an Ironman.
Not only that, but the one you're wearing, and I'm sure some of the other ones, you had a hand in designing.
Yeah, I've gotten to working with Oser. I wear test a lot of the different things before they even come to market, but I also got to partner these two companies, Oser and Nike, to create an integrated sole that fits on the bottom of here. It's called the Nike sole, and they collaborated, and I got to work on designing and making it so that this sole integrates seamlessly with this, and I can switch it out for different treads and different events.
It's a beautiful piece of machinery. And so the 40th anniversary of the Ironman World Championships, you're attempting it this year. Is it this year or next year?
Yes, it's this year. It's in 92 days.
My God, and why are you doing it?
So I'm going back to the Hawaii Ironman. It's been, 13 years since I've done the last one. But I wanted to prove that a woman in her 40s can still be fast and fierce and fabulous. So I'm going back, and I still believe that we are fighting for inclusion, for people with disabilities to be included, not just in your gym class, in your school, and on the soccer pitch, and at Ironman. And so I want to be an example, and I want to blow open the door so other folks with disabilities can toe the line at this race.
You said you're in your 40s. I don't believe that. You don't look older than 22, in my opinion. You look incredible, and it's because you've taken such good care of yourself, and you're so athletic. And so, I mean, did you ever think that you'd get to this point in your life? I mean, thinking maybe 20 or 30 years back that it would become what it has become?
I never thought that as a little girl, I was often excluded in sports, and it's so ironic to now grow up and be in my 40s and be a Nike athlete and to work with OSER and to get to do all these things. I never thought that was possible, but I didn't do it for that reason. I did it because I loved being active. I felt good when I was being active, and to me, I always saw that my body was a gift, and I wanted to use it no matter what. Even if I was missing my leg, I wasn't going to let that get me down. I was going to think about the one good leg I had and my 2 arms and use my body while I have it.
Yeah, and you live life outside your comfort zone, like in '09 when you did the body issue of ESPN. Was that terrifying or what? Yeah,
to pose naked in a magazine was definitely terrifying, but I do like to do things that push me out of my comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens.
I agree with you. I think it's a good rule to live by for anybody. So Sarah, it's been a real pleasure sitting down with you. Thanks so much for coming here. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
And welcome to the Old Pueblo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now follow Sarah's journey on social media as she competes in the Ironman World Championship in October, and find her on Instagram @AlwaysTry.